What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about the new patch that just dropped. It is the second dev feedback patch, and this one is not as bad as the first one. The first one destroyed crafting. It basically ruined a lot of aspects of the game for a lot of people, made it much harder for free to play to catch up to whales. But this one is much more based on balancing of heroes. There are a couple of small changes we'll talk about to other things as well, but we do want to talk about the superhero balance adjustment because this has quite a few players upset this morning, and unfortunately, what they are learning today is that this is how MMOs work. This is an MMO based game, meaning that there will constantly be balancing and like checks and balances with characters, and some characters that are performing too well will be nerfed, others that aren't doing as well will be buffed. That's usually how MMOs work. And there's gonna be a lot of upset Black Widow mains today, and I'm gonna go ahead and say I get it, and we're gonna talk about that once we go over the dev patch notes here. But so starting off with Doctor Strange, his ultimate, they said that the ultimate is doing just a little too well versus other ultimates. The range is a little too much, damage is a little too high. It's just doing too well versus your other ultimates from other characters. So they are nerfing a little bit. They are decreasing the damage by 15%, and then the AoE range is decreased by about 20%. So it's gonna hit smaller in a smaller area, gonna hit a little less. I mean, this one I totally get. That Doctor Strange ultimate had a massive range to it, and it was kind of crazy when I'm leveling him up, just seeing how far out that ultimate reaches. So I do get why they've decreased the range on it a little bit, and also decreasing the damage. We'll see overall how this affects him with his ultimate, but the big one's going to be Black Widow. So in the case of Black Widow, it appears there are difficulties in early PvE content, and as for PvP, she is dominating with her high singular damage output. Pretty true. To prevent Black Widow from having fixed styles in certain content, we will increase the damage of her skills that are underutilized and adjusted the ultimate skill. So right now with Black Widow, the way her ultimate skill works is that she vanishes, and when she comes out of vanish, she has basically guaranteed crit chance and a huge boost to crit damage. So they are decreasing the damage amplification by 20%, and they're increasing the cooldown of her ultimate by 15%. Two of her abilities, Trap Expert and Explosive Expert, some of those subclasses people just didn't use. They didn't work as well. The damage was kind of lacking, I guess, but they're boosting damage on those two. Underhand Throw is getting increased by 13%, and the High Explosive Grenade is getting increased by 6.5%. But what has people really upset is this Firearms Sniper Shot ability. This is the one that everybody in Black Widow uses. It does a ton of damage, and it's what's made her just like top of line your single target damage output. They are nerfing this by 13%, and this is what's going to have a lot of people upset today. It's because of this. Combining Sniper Shot with her ultimate skill, this allows people to push well over 1,000,000 damage with her Sniper Shot ability. Granted, those are some of your higher end Black Widows, but this was a very short cooldown. It's like a 20-30 second cooldown on Sniper Shot. It was doing a lot of damage, and combine that with Vanish, it was kind of causing this issue where if you go and look in the game, you're gonna see a lot of Black Widows there. We're gonna look at this, and you guys will see just how much Black Widow was dominating a lot of different game modes. For Captain Marvel, they are changing it so that her guard cannot be broken while she is in binary mode. This was an easy way to counter her ultimate, was to pull back, wait for her to pop her ultimate, and then once she was in binary mode, just break her guard, and then she was basically stunned and easily to control. They're changing so her in binary mode she cannot be have her guard broken, which means she cannot be crowd controlled anymore. That's pretty big. But Photon Blast was performing too well, so they have increased the cooldown time on that by 30%. That is her single target attack that was doing incredible amounts of damage. I was afraid they're going to nerf the damage, but they are increasing the cooldown by 30%, so it's not the worst, but that is a bit of a hefty cooldown increase on that Photon Focus ability. I'm sure this will help to nerf her damage quite a bit on single target. Black Widow and Captain Marvel were your best single target ability or damage dealers, so I have a feeling this is going to drastically nerf their damage quite a bit. We'll see in the end how it does. And then for Star-Lord, they increasing the ultimate skill gauge recovery by 16%. This one I never really noticed. I mean, I'm leveling up Star-Lord right now, working on the fire skill, the fire build guide for him, but I never thought that his ultimate was was performing too little. But it is a nasty ultimate. It throws out chill, shock, and burn all at once with the ultimate. It's very good. It hits pretty hard, but if they're gonna make it hit more often, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about that. But I just never really noticed it before. But I'm also used to remaining Cap, who has the longest of the charges for ultimates. So we'll see how this works out. And then we get to some big buffs for Captain America. So with Cap, the big thing was that his damage is fine, but for being a tank, he was a little too easy to break guard on, a little too easy to control while he was tanking. So they are changing that. His ultimate has been drastically changed, which is huge. Number one, he does not jump to enemies now. He stands in place and then releases it. His damage effect reduction is increased from 50% to 80%. Guard damage reduction has been changed to 80%. He did not have this before. Now he takes almost no guard damage while charging up his ult. And then his guard cannot be broken while the ultimate is active, which is insane. So he's going to stand in place now and just release this. Now, his area of effect is still rather small, so if you do see him charging up, just run away. That's all you have to do, is you just run away, you're going to be fine. But this is going to be much better. The tracking on this was terrible, especially if the enemy was moving. It was very easy to avoid it just by constantly moving. Some of the other abilities still have tracking issues. Hopefully we get those fixed in the future. The damage reduction effect for Unbreakable Will Shield Impact has been increased to 50%, and the guard damage reduction received increased by 50%. This is a Vibranium release ability I'm usually using on Cap anyways, so this is nice to see. His Captain's Resolution, which heals him, the health recovery effect has been increased by 33% as well. And then his Captain's Provocation, which allows him to taunt and gives him some damage reduction. They have pretty much doubled the damage reduction effect. They have now given him 100% guard reduction damage, which is huge. And the cooldown time has been increased by about 20%. So he's going to tank harder now. He's not going to take as much damage, but they have made it so this occurs more often, which is not what I was looking for. I'm going to I'm going to look that up. I'm going to take a look at that right now, because I think if I look at that, they say cooldown time has been increased by 20%, which figures mean that's taking longer for him to use this ability. So we'll take a look at that right now. But let's see. So we look at his leadership ability. Where is it? Captain's Resolution, Captain's Provocation, 34-second cooldown. I feel like that's shorter now. So, yeah, look at that. Reduces all damage by 57.3% for 6 seconds. It's not bad at all. But yeah, so it looks like it's a shorter cooldown. It's hard to tell. Yeah, cooldown time increased. Yeah, so they are making it use less often, but that is unfortunate. But hey, at least he's got some nice damage reduction with that now. And then Captain's Patience, the applied shield effect has been increased by about 20%. That was his ability that applied a barrier to everybody around him, which should be, yeah, here you go. Yeah, this has definitely been buffed. 34% now of max HP for 10 seconds. That has definitely been buffed. So overall, not bad changes to Cap there. Some nerfs to some other characters. And then also the ultimate for Spider-Man has the web effect display kind of clogged up the screen. It was very hard to see anything. So now the display time has been decreased by 75%, so it will not last long. But that was a crazy thing with this, is when he pops his ultimate, you can't see a single thing on the screen. So that's it's nice to see that has been changed. Now moving on to some of the other stuff, we've already gone over the changes to heroes. Most wanted targets will now appear more often, which is fantastic. Level 1 and level 2 medkits heal for 50 more health now. Ultron, Kingpin, Ultron from Another Dimension, Yellow Jacket, Vision, MODOK, and Thanos attack in the epic missions have all been decreased by 10%. Same with Crossbones. Those were some I know Crossbones and Thanos epic missions were very difficult. I'm surprised I don't see nerfs to Laufey or even Loki in here, but I'm sure they're trying to make those very difficult so that players can learn those mechanics. The time to remove a hero has been adjusted to 7 days. It's going to help cut down on people just making characters over and over again to farm potential. So this is now going to make players buy potential through the Alliance store. We'll see in the long run how this works out, but I think overall this is probably going to upset quite a few players who were trying to farm potential. Epic missions now give a couple more training manuals on certain ones. They have made special operations better. I think what's going on here with special operations is right now you can manipulate it by going in with 3 other allies from your alliance and have one player do everything. Like I've seen people pull 4 million plus on the special operation missions, and basically you just had one player defeat all the main targets. It was very easy for one player to just farm up all the points themselves. So I have a feeling what they're doing here is they're making it so that the better time you have left, it's going to drastically increase your score. So hopefully this helps fix this problem where one player is just able to do everything and do massive scores in special operations. Maybe now it's going to actually focus on teamwork. We'll see how that works out in special operations. Doctor Strange's astral projection skill has some of its attack power is not increasing. They've now fixed that. They fixed recommended power of some battle challenges. They fixed the inability to equip certain cores despite the battle badge core slot being empty. And then they fixed an error where fewer costly bonus options were added than intended. So this one's iffy. We're gonna have to see how crafting goes now, but the theory is that now there's gonna be some real garbage stats added to crafting for increasing your costume stats, and we'll figure this out because I'm working on creating some costumes for Star-Lord, and we'll see if they've changed things. Like I know helmets could roll crit chance, crit damage, defense pierce, debuff accuracy. There were some very good stats in there, and I have a feeling that Netmarble may be wanting to throw some other stats in there to prevent god rolls on some of these items. Like my Star-Lord's helmet rolled stupidly well with a roll of crit rate, 3 crit damages, and then a perfect roll of debuff accuracy. It was kind of stupid, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll find out in the end. But let's go back to this real quick because we need to talk about these balance changes just a moment. But if you go and look at, let's see, I believe if we go to Dimensional Duel, I think. Yeah, I mean, you have Black Widow kind of dominating the top spots in Dimensional Duel. You do see a lot of Iron Man as well. I have a feeling Iron Man's going to get the next nerf. We'll see how that works. Let's see, what else we have? Omega War. Again, a lot of Black Widows up top. Reminex is doing work with Captain America. We'll see how that works. But yeah, there's a lot of Widows kind of dominating some of these rankings. And again, we'll see how things work in the end for weekly rankings. I believe, yeah, there's some more Black Widows kind of dominating things. They were just doing too much damage, and that was why Netmarble nerfed them. We'll see in the end how things work out. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about these balance changes and everything with this patch notes? Let me know down below. But as always, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.